I'd like to open the meeting with a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting of the Mayor and Borough Council is held pursuant to the provisions of the meeting law. This meeting was set as per press, published in December 20, 2020, through the subsequent publication on virtual meetings on February 21st, 2021, with the ID of 998-3326-1382. Councilwoman Mosley should be in attendance, and she's not there right now, so 1 second, I'll see if I can. All right, I believe she'll be in executive session, but we'll start with the normal roll call. All right, Councilman Fennell? Here. Councilman Mosley? Don't see her yet, but she will be. Councilman Murray? Yes. Councilman Roshausen? Here. Councilman Taylor?
Here.
Mayor Hainshine? Here. We do have a quorum. Let's open up for public comment. I don't see any public on the Zoom. I'll open up for public comment on the floor. Any questions or comments, please step forward with your name and address. Seeing none, do I have a motion to close public comment?
Cricket.
Roshausen.
All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing none, we do have executive session. We can talk about the proposed ordinances prior to that, or we can go ahead with the general agenda. I will leave that for the governing body to decide.
Session then. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Motion.
I'll make a motion to just continue.
Well, we don't need to do that. We're moving right up there. Thank you. So we have ordinance 21-7. Hold on 1 second. Let me make sure we have professionals on. So we can. Okay. We're going into the ordinances portion of the agenda now. And we do have one of our professionals online who's a planner. We can ask for our attorney to get on as well. We're anticipating the executive session first. But let's move into the ordinance portion. We have ordinance 21-7, which is the ordinance of the Borough of South Thames River, County of Ocean, adopting the second amended and restated municipal landfill redevelopment plan. This is the second reading, so we have a public hearing. So we're going to open up that public hearing now. Everybody, any questions, comments? Anything from the public? Seeing none, do I have a motion to close public hearing?
Murray.
Murray Fennell, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none. Roll call for final passage. Do I have a motion?
Murray.
Roshausen.
Hold on, Ms. Mosley said it's not letting her join.
Who? No.
Don't you pay attention?
I couldn't hear him.
And, what'd you say?
Give you a hint, Medicare doesn't cover hearing aids.
I still got insurance.
I had time before I get Medicare.
You get the card?
Was AARP covered? I got that card.
Just kind of somebody down his job and take my box.
There's a share program, you know, you borrow some ideas.
There you go.
Would you say, hey, can I see that for a minute?
Okay.
So real big, I ain't, you know, back in the old
Okay, Ms. Mosley is being led into the room now, she's all set. Hold on one second, once we get the roll call again. Sorry, one moment. Councilor Mosley there?
Yes.
All right, we're going to mark you as present. We're in the public hearing portion of the agenda of the ordinance 21-7, which is the first ordinance of the night. This is adopting the second amended and restated municipal landfill redevelopment plan. We already went through the hearing. There's been no questions or comments on that, but we did have a motion and a second. Motion from Murray, second from Rollshausen. So now we're into the roll call portion, but before we go into that, did you have any questions on 21-7 for the second amended and restated municipal landfill redevelopment plan? Thank you. We'll proceed to roll call. Councilman Fennell?
Here. Yes.
Councilman Mosley?
Yes.
Councilman Murray?
Yes.
Councilman Rollshausen?
Yes.
Councilman Taylor?
No.
We have ordinance 21-8, an ordinance of the Borough of South Sunbury County, Ocean, New Jersey, adopting the amended and restated affordable housing landfill redevelopment plan. This is the second reading as introduced. We have a public hearing. We're going to open up the public hearing for questions and comments for the public. Do we have any questions? Seeing none, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Mary?
All set.
All in favor to close?
Aye.
Any opposed to close? Seeing none, public hearing is closed. We're going to move on to roll call, 21-8. Do I have a motion to adopt?
Rollshausen?
No.
Councilman Fennell?
Yes.
Councilman Mosley? Councilman Murray?
Yes.
Councilman Rollshausen?
Yes.
And Councilman Taylor?
No.
Ordinance 21-9, ordinance of the Borough of South Sunbury County, Ocean, New Jersey, adopting amendments to the Dover Road redevelopment plan. This is the second reading. We're going to open up the public hearing as well. This is the same one. Please state your name if you have a question or comment. Seeing none, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
No.
Mary?
All in favor to close the public hearing?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Seeing none, public hearing is closed. We'll move on to the roll call for final passage of 21-9. Do I have a motion?
Mary?
And Mary? Councilman Fennell?
Yes.
Councilman Mosley?
Yes.
Councilman Murray?
Yes.
Councilman Rollshausen?
Yes.
Councilman Taylor?
No.
And the last ordinance of the night, we have ordinance 21-10, an ordinance of the Borough of South Sunbury County, Ocean, New Jersey, amending and supplementing Borough Code 3-225-14 entitled Rate Changes. This is the first reading, so there is no public hearing on this. What this does is increase the charges for the towing operators. All right. Do I have a motion to introduce?
Before you go into that, though, that it reflects the tonnage of the vehicles that are being towed,
It does.
so that's pretty,
Yes.
where we need to update our ordinances.
It updates all the charges associated with their weight and class.
Right.
We let the dogs out. All right, get back on track, I'll make a motion.
Okay.
Towers.
No, please.
I got a motion, please a second. Okay. All right, for roll call on introduction, Councilman Fennell,
Yes.
Councilman Mosley, Councilman Murray,
Yes.
Councilman Rollshausen,
Yes.
and Councilman Taylor.
Yes.
Motion approved on introduction. We have consent agenda next. The following is considered routine by the Borough of South Sunbury. There need be no formal action on these items. If discussion is desired, then the item will be removed from consent agenda and considered separately. I would like to make a request for resolution 199 to be placed separately, so we can discuss that in executive session. And then, any other requests to separate them out? Any other resolution that should be separated out? We're good with the rest? Okay. All right, so we have resolution 197 is approving council minutes. We have resolution 200 is authorizing the 22 RFPs. 201, which is renewing the Schedule C agreement with the county for next year. Should be for 22, not 21. Authorizing borough personnel policies. I can tell you, so let me separate 203 as well out to be discussed in executive session regarding personnel policies and procedures. 24 is memorializing the hiring of Anthony Maserati as laborer in the Department of Public Works. 205 is animal control contract with Associated Humane Societies. And 206 is fourth quarter tax levy adjustment for a tax appeal. So we removed 199 and 203 to be discussed at a later date. Anything else?
Joe, can you amend that resolution for the hiring to include an annual salary?
To include what?
Annual salary?
The annual salary, yes.
Okay,
The annual salary is 35,000.
thanks, sir.
Anything else? If there's a motion to approve the resolutions minus the two resolutions that we'll discuss separately. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, those are approved. We'll move on to the rest of the agenda and we'll go into executive session later. There? Yeah. Okay. All right, so we have the bill list next. Please review the bills.
Hey, Joe,
Sure.
page 1, all these shirts and stuff.
Yes.
One, where are they? And two, why wasn't that brought up in front of us before?
That actually falls under the special events for mayor and council and, you know, make sure that you represent the town appropriately now as, you know, rather than the t-shirt. So we gauged out the cost for sure to make sure that the council member will get at least one police transit to represent the town. It does fall under, you know, the allowable line item.
I was just wondering, this is the first time I started to see it on the building.
We've never had official shirts for borough officials for events.
Well, we were never given a heads up on this, so it kind of told us all part of the expenses, keep expenses.
I mean, it was brought up for the last few weeks, but we never brought it to council because it was operational expenses.
Operational expenses. Well, it falls under the town events budget.
Okay.
That's my question. Wait, they got a small for you. We're gonna do like this.
Small. The motion be finalized, we're being voted on, yeah.
Two out of 3X.
Actually, whatever you got a problem.
The arm size with X texture.
I'm actually extra small, so you know.
I heard you're a kid's meeting.
Honestly, I could probably fit that too, buddy.
Jerry.
About 20 pounds COVID. Not a cheesesteak from me now. Any questions on the building?
The generator repair, I guess that's for emergency generator when the switch, I guess.
Let's throw over switch one day.
Yeah.
Because I was here for that.
And we actually had another service, maintenance service from them this past week as well.
And it worked.
Yes. It's up on
I'm
standby.
surprised I didn't catch it the first time when they did that maintenance.
Yeah, it was up on standby, but everything's working.
Because once that fuse was restated back on that pole, and I turned the generator to manual, it went to manual off. Oh, I switched from manual to automatic. It shut it off, and never switched it over. So I knew to throw the switch. Because you automatically do that. Since we lose the power, it's isolated from the line, turns it on automatically, and then when it sees power coming back at it, it's to open it up. You'll have a 5 second or 5 minute between like automatic to 10 minutes of cool down before the thing will shut off. But you'll already be back on the main line. That's how they're supposed to work. The only reason why there's a thrower switch so you don't backfeed the line and kill it. There's no more kill over line.
So we take them precautions that this won't happen again?
Well, the guys, well, you can't, it got hit by lightning, that's what happened. So since last service in now, well, bad, must have got hit by lightning.
Right.
And when probably popped the fuse on the pole and made that go bad. So then it's not operating. So they had to turn it on by manual. They turned on manual, put the building back on generation, but there's, when we fixed the problem on our side, our side, then we put the power back to the building, but it wasn't switching over because that switch went bad. So there's nothing you can do with it.
Is it ground?
Well, you know, it's not, no, that's not ground. If it's ground, it's going to the 4th of July when it gets heated up. You don't want a ground on it.
So you would want the switch to blow out, yeah?
No, there's grounds in there, but the switch is for the hot phases, not for the
Yeah.
not for the neutral.
Okay. Which is, I guess the equipment itself is grounded?
Yeah, everything's bonded, everything's bonded.
Supposedly.
No, it's bonded.
Well, we had a problem with blowing out all our cameras.
Well, it will.
So,
When you get hit by lightning, unless you have surge protection, and that's not even a guarantee that it's not going to burn something in here. Lightning is an unknown voltage, period. It blows stuff up all the time. And there's no stop. The worst thing to lose is going into your house is your neutral, because you'll burn everything up in your house. But that wasn't the problem here. This was a lightning strike.
right.
So our stuff caught it on our end, it blew the thing there, but where it travels from there, it's multiplied voltages. You know, a baby can never really, how can I say how much voltage is in that lightning strike. Yeah, something like that. Then we don't have anything to handle that, but that's in theory, That's what it is. Lighting does it, can't stop it, you know, you can have surge protectors, it'll help, sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. Depends on how close it is and how high the voltage is.
We're surge protected over with the camera system, it was 8 cameras, and or receivers and transmitters from, going back and forth, so. And everything's surge protected.
Lighting's on there, there's no way to really stop it. I mean, you can put it in there, it'll help, if it's hit down the road a little bit and it's in the back down the line, but if it's hit close, or if it hits the ground outside, now if it was using neutral, a little further, or mother,
We're all certified electricians.
yeah, if you want to play with it, be my guest.
Any questions of the bills? Let's go back to the bills.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills.
Okay, right. Have a first, have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed to pay the bills? Bills are paid. All right. We have new business. The best practices worksheet. Woohoo! Everybody knows what that is. We received 20 points, so we have full funding from the state. We win 100% of state aid. That's what we win. Nothing.
We can count on much of that.
Yeah, no, they're not going to be taking any more away, let's put it that way, so we're okay with that.
It's because the gas keeps going.
That 2.5%, I don't know if that could be added to those points or not. I don't think it was as.
It was in the unscored inventory.
Okay, that's what, yeah, so, I figured it was one of those things where, gotcha, thank you.
We got 20 out of how many possible?
25, maybe?
I don't even think it was that many, it was like maybe 21.
Yeah.
Also,
It's partial points, yeah, we did well.
well, thank you, Steve and Joe.
I think we would have gotten half a point if we had put not to exceed amounts on our resolutions, which we should do, so
We should do.
next year. We do that and we'll get a half a point.
There you go.
All right, so we do have to review it, and we do have to pass a resolution as every year. So if everybody's good with that, we just do a motion to approve certifying the review of the best practices worksheet.
I'll make a motion to approve.
All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing none? Motion approved. If you look in your packet, also under new business, the Greater Toms River Chamber of Commerce, they would like the Borough of South River to participate as a part of their Greater Toms River. So they're looking to expand their Chamber of Commerce. I met with them about 2 weeks ago. They have a high interest in the Borough of South River. They know that we are improving, developing, growing. So they want to know if we are willing to be part of the Greater Toms River Chamber of Commerce. Now, this is different than COBA, the Central Ocean Business Association. COBA is more of a marketing networking arm, right? Where you go to the meetings, you go to their events, and it is strictly networking. The Greater Chamber of Commerce, they have a little bit more of a resource essentially in the businesses, whereas they can help provide with grants or taxes. They could give our businesses in South Thames River some guidance on, let's say, how to apply for COVID funds, ARP funds essentially. I mean, we can answer the questions for businesses here, but we don't have a chamber and we don't have a business arm. It's another resource essentially to give our businesses, which in turn will give it to us essentially. So review the packet. You don't have to make any decisions tonight.
Is there a cost associated with
There
it?
is a cost membership factor to the borough joining. There is a cost factor for every business joining, right? So this is not free. There is a service cost for any of it. Let's see. There's 76 pages here, sorry. There's 3 or 4 pages of information, social media, membership information, things like that. I believe for a nonprofit member such as us, it's $200 for the year. I will double check that. There is a membership form that you can see whatever your business pays for as well. We're under the nonprofit membership. There are several levels of businesses and corporate memberships. There's about 6 or 7 pages worth of information related to the chamber. Take a look. Any other thoughts? If you believe we should be part of it, please let me know. And then we'll go from there. So that's the Greater Chamber. Any questions on that?
These are the businesses.
Any questions on that? Move on to the next one. Okay. Next portion, old business, the trunk or treat this coming weekend, 10:30, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Trunk or treat. We should have a list readily available for everybody over the next few days.
I call you, I got a few people.
Okay.
It's not gonna work for me. I was better off on 24th. I have to work. I don't know why I was looking at 24th.
The second item in old business, the 2022 recycling calendar. Fun conversation. So we need to make this decision sooner than later so that Oscar can print the calendar. Whether that's tonight or a few days from now, we do need to get this done sooner than later so we can go to print. So I can tell you there's a few aspects. One, I have related information that, the maintenance has quadrupled over the last year for the maintenance of those vehicles. However, we are getting a new vehicle which will cut down on the maintenance, right? So, there's different things to consider. All right, we went from
Council, I had a suggestion, because this is something we had promised our residents, and I understand that are being tripled, and I do understand can we not go through this year, looking at the numbers, continue into next year with the price we pick up from the summer 22, and then look at the numbers at the end of the summer, and if it's not feasible and we're still looking like, it's still the cost, the pickup outweighs, what it is, the cost is, then we make a decision on it based on the numbers that we have, and then back to the residents to let them know that if indeed we continue to do the double pickup during the summer months, it's going to be fantastic.
I'm in agreement with Councilman Wisdom.
We're looking at continuing July and August.
Yeah, just like last year.
I believe we have July and August and went through the Labor Day weekend. It went
With
1
the
week.
Labor Day
Yeah,
weekend.
there was like 1 weeker there for the Labor Day weekend for the trash, I think.
At that point, if it's making a decision and it's not cost effective, we do have something to come back to the residents with. Yes, we have a new vehicle, but it's still not cost effective. These are our options, as we continue to pick up, which they wanted, then they would, with the understanding that they raise that.
The new vehicle is a bulk pickup vehicle, so it won't really affect the logos.
Correct.
Trucks.
Um,
It'll affect the bulk pickup, I guess, because that's outdated, but the rowboat trucks, it's not gonna have any effect on a new vehicle, having an effect on the cost of what the rowboat trucks are gonna cost us.
How would that, you said,
The one's a sidearm,
right?
and then with the rear loader, that's correct.
So, we're having picked up.
We have the rear loader, I'm sorry, the sidearm, what I'm abandoned is the current one for the trash. We do have the rear loader, which we're getting for the bulk. He is correct with that one. That's correct, yes. Yes, that is correct. Okay.
And is that what, for basically bulk pickup?
Well, that's for bulk. Both vehicles have quadrupled over the last year, 2 years actually. That does include the bulk though, surprisingly.
Okay.
It's an older truck.
It is an older truck, right. I mean, both had quadrupled, both of them.
Yeah, I still stand where I am. I look at, as far as looking at the numbers, because then I feel more comfortable speaking to the residents, letting them know how we came about with the decision to take with it, something that we probably did. This is something I want to throw out there, and the other thing.
Can you hear?
Hold on one second, Tony, we lost you there. Can you
Can you hear me now?
I'm gonna, sorry, I'm gonna raise the volume here. Bear with me here.
No worries.
Go ahead.
Is that better?
Better, thank you.
Okay, so, I also wanted to suggest that I know, our lives, we could go over that calendar, because there's so many complaints, people don't have anything better to do than complain about, we got a double date in the calendar, or, one of the days are off, so I know it's a lot on Oscar, if we could just look it over, more eyes is better than just in there, so we can have our correct calendar.
Absolutely.
Because it was a big complaint apparently on Facebook.
It wasn't a big deal, I mean, they made a mistake on the numbers. It
Yeah, but then-
happens. Sometimes it gets overlooked.
They have nothing better to do than complain about.
Yeah,
You never can stop that.
So you might want to keep that complaint in there so that you don't get the bigger complaint.
Exactly.
So keep making mistakes.
Are we gonna do a motion to approve the calendar, I guess, as presented?
Well, I'd like to talk about some of the other recommendations that was made by Maria and Lionel about, bulk is usually the third Thursday of each month. They'd like to be the third Friday of each month. Holiday falls on a Tuesday. You'd like to move the pickup to a Monday instead of Wednesday. Those were like the only two things that were brought up from Maria and Lionel.
So, yeah, I can address, so the first one does make it easier for our employees, right? It's on the Friday, they're able to handle the bulk matters easier on the Mondays and Fridays. Tuesdays, I did have a conversation with Mr. Decker. He thinks it would work out fine, but we did raise an issue on number 2, because if a holiday happens on a Tuesday and you want to pick up the Monday, people aren't thinking about the Monday, they're thinking about the Tuesday and the holiday. So that could be an issue. We don't know if that's going to confuse people.
How many Tuesdays holidays are there? There you go, it's figured out quick.
I got nothing for you. I'm honestly going to say probably one, right, for a 12-month.
If there's one, then it's not really a big deal, leave it on one.
It's probably like just one of the holidays, but, and we can make an announcement on the Friday before the Monday, the whole weekend. You can press out stuff saying, listen, do the stuff on the Monday. Not the Monday, Monday, so.
I think that's no big.
Realistically, for the first time, I think we should go with the director of DPW. Let's give them a chance to set the policies. Let's see if it works.
What?
Both these recommendations come at the director of DPW.
Well, the bulk one makes a lot of sense because Friday's not a pickup day.
Right.
that makes more sense than having to do it on Thursday, because Thursday you're picking up.
100%.
District 2, I believe.
100%.
You know, so it makes a lot of sense to do that on a Friday. I mean, that I have no problem with.
The
I mean,
second thing, if there's only one Tuesday. I
There's
don't
only
see a
one
problem
Tuesday.
going with run
Yeah, you-
elsewhere.
Yeah, it's probably only one Tuesday, if that.
And if something happens next year, we can amend it just like the garbage pickup for the
yeah,
twice
but
a
it's
week,
like
right? I
everybody,
mean,
so you
this
use
calendar gets
it on
printed
Wednesday.
yearly, right? We can always change it if we need to.
It's like creatures and habits of it, so you used to, if
Yeah.
it was a holiday on Tuesday, you
Right.
know it was gonna be picked up on a Wednesday.
Well,
You know,
it's only
you-
one time, so
Yeah.
you still gonna do recycles twice a month?
Yes. For July, August through the Labor Day weekend right there, that first weekend in September.
I guess you here.
The only Tuesday I see
It's
is
election day, on the
Almost
8th.
every other week there.
So it's only
So that's only, so I
election
just got to,
day.
it's the only one.
I see election day. No, yeah.
There's one here.
So it's only in November.
Yeah, but.
In November?
One is
Election
three,
day.
One is free, and one is free.
Okay.
And then
Twice a
two.
month, give it to
Yeah,
them.
no, that's the way
We'll
we
give it
work.
to them.
All right, so do I have a motion to approve the calendar that is presented? Or are you not ready to do it?
Wait, Sam just has a question.
Yeah.
Because he said, he wasn't sure that we had two recycles a week.
I thought we had one.
One recycle a week.
One recycle week, two trash pickups.
Right, there's one, there's two.
Yeah, so we have two a month for each district.
So
Unless it's
We always
the
have
fifth,
that.
unless there was one that thing that was changed, if there's, which the director's request to make the fifth Wednesday a whole town-wide.
Correct.
Am I correct on that?
Yes.
Well,
The town gets picked up on the fifth
We don't,
Wednesday.
well, on the fifth Wednesday, we don't pick up at anything.
Yes, we do.
Yes, the fifth Wednesday, pick up
So,
recycling.
if you look at March, right, it's all districts. March 30th, it's all districts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you look at, if there is a fifth Wednesday, right? So everybody, if there is a fifth Wednesday, then it's all districts, yes.
Let's approve it.
If there's not a fifth Wednesday, then it goes by the standard schedule.
But didn't we, not too long ago, seen the recycling for once or twice during the summer months?
No, twice a month.
Twice a month.
The garbage was twice a week.
Yeah.
Every other week.
It's every other week, up to those 2 days, and it's every week.
Wait a minute, recycling was
Every week in the
in
summertime.
the summertime.
Yeah, that 2 months, it's every Wednesday, picks up the whole town.
As it is on this calendar, unless I'm seeing it wrong, because July is at the bottom, so that might have been the previous month. Yeah, all districts, okay.
Yeah, it's all different.
Recycling's every week during the summer months, right, and the fifth
The
month is.
the 2 months that we pick up double pickup,
Right.
that Wednesday, everybody's recycling, picked up.
Right.
every-
June and July and August, actually.
I thought it was just July, August.
You want
I thought it
to,
was,
Well, the fifth Wednesday, if you look at it, there's 5 Wednesdays in June, July, and August. So everybody gets that extra pickup for recycling for the month, if you look at it.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm good.
we can change.
So one couple of,
Everybody comfortable with that?
I'm gonna put it on.
All right, if we're good, motion to approve.
Well, there's a problem with, I can see it with,
All right.
we get, go to August, the next month is supposed to be September, it doesn't say anything on it.
Go back.
Yeah, it's on there. August, September.
Recycling all districts,
Uh-huh.
and you get to.
This is August, because of the way it got printed out. And this one here is July, see? July's here,
Okay.
the printer was off.
Yeah, I want to make sure we get our numbers and everything.
He did, I'm just saying.
Right again.
And then they got it aligned in September.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of used me.
We can also, we're gonna go over, as you know, Councilman mostly is gonna go over, the days and days, make sure they're all, coordinated and
We
synced
just
as
change
well.
it so we can have one, so somebody can find it.
I can have a, where's Waldo, the calendar, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, find the mistake. Okay, the first mistake you find, you get a candy bar. Second mistake, you get $25 gift card. Third mistake,
Get a swimming in town pool.
And Tubby.
I have something else I want to bring up under old business.
Are we approving this though real fast? Calendar?
I'll make a motion.
that's.
Okay. All right, motion to, and all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, the calendar is approved.
That's including the recommendations,
And with the recommendations, yes.
change of the days, okay.
All right. What is, can you bring up, sir?
Old business, we were talking about the procurement purchase cards. So I'd like to have us adopt the recommendations by our CFO for the procurement purchase card program parameters. I guess you've all had a copy of that at one time or another, to look it over. And it was suggested that that's the parameters that we adopt as our policy for the town for the purchase, key card purchasing program. So maybe in the near future, we could adopt these measures as part of the key card program as per the recommendations of our CFO.
Okay, so that would be resolution 207, adopting P card procedures.
Well, let me do this. I'll write up a formal thing for November.
Okay, all right, so Mr. Steve stated that he's going to draft up something formal for us. We'll have that-
Do that.
we'll have the
I'd like to
next-
read it over.
Yeah.
We got this earlier. I haven't read it in a couple of months.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Mayor, appreciate that.
To be honest with you guys.
Any other new business? We do have executive session briefly. Council reports?
Well, I got a council report, I did.
So did I.
Thank you. Councilman Murray?
First aid food I can look at it too. Food event down in Mathis. Interviewed a few people for the newest CFO position.
Councilwoman Mosley, before I forget, do you have a report?
No, I don't, thank you, Mayor.
Councilman Rubenstein.
Okay, as Councilman Murray, I made it to the food truck a little late, but there was quite a crowd there still when I got there. I got there around 8 o'clock, and the place was still packed. We had a land use board meeting. We had a neighborhood watch meeting tonight. I went to the vaccine clinic at the rec center for the flu, COVID. I believe they were giving the pneumonia shot there too.
There was a pneumonia vaccine, the pneumonia
So,
vaccine.
and then we had,
Just pick one.
we actually had 2 police committee meetings.
Read the Reader's Digest version.
What was that?
Reader's Digest version.
You want the Reader's Digest version? Or the encyclopedia version?
I'm sure we're gonna get that one.
Yes, you are. It was me, Sam, and Chief Kosh, and the officers went through training. We discussed the police report. The police attended the backpack extravaganza and had a neighborhood watch meeting. The SLEO 2 field training is that, from the first meeting, it's actually complete now, because it was supposed to be complete the 18th. Is that complete?
That is,
Okay. And Mohammed, Off Patrolman Mohammed's waiver training is also completed, correct?
correct, 18th.
All right. They conducted a traffic study on Applegate. They just actually took the box away the other day, on Friday. The chief met with Matt to discuss the towers ordinance, which we just voted on tonight. Camera system was, and the key fob, which everyone knows was damaged by a lightning strike. The chief was contacted in regards to the new vehicles. We were expecting 3 2021 models. We are now getting 1 one 2021 model year for the administration car, and 2 2022 patrol cars, and there's no extra charge being they're upgrading us to the 2022s. In the first meeting, they were discussing that we were short one crossing guard at the parkway, and we weren't going to cover it. But at the last meeting, they actually found that a couple of the residents contacted them, and they're covering that. Now, the police are actually covering that, correct?
Yes,
All right.
until further notice.
And on the 15th, me, Sam, and the chief met again. We reviewed the monthly report, which everybody got. He noted that, which they kind of expected, but Asbury Park PD is looking at our SLEO 2 officer test for a full-time position. Also, the chief was looking into an option which he'd like to be considered by council for the next budget for purchasing, for leasing LPRs. The cost for that is $2,500 to $2,800 per year per unit. And under the lease, they would be responsible for all maintenance costs. And the purchase price would be $30,000, and we'd be responsible for the maintenance. And the chief's ultimate goal would be to have one at all main entry points into town. The chief is going to have, it falls under his budget, but have his chief's car painted. It looks like hell. Well, there's a lot of rust on it. And that's only $13,1660, and that covers the paint job and some body work.
1,300.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did I say 13,000?
It said 13.
Oh, 1316.
Earl Shot.
Earl Drive, 6995.
Good job.
The cars in impound are ready to go to auction. The title work is complete, and that will bring some extra revenue to the borough. And that's all we have. Yep, that's all I have. And you want to add to anything?
Nope.
Okay.
Councilman Fennell?
I also went to the truck festival, pretty crowded, pretty good. There's actually more people than I didn't thought would be there, so there was actually a lot of people there. Also went to the vaccination, flu shot.
Flu,
Yeah.
COVID, and they were watching
Nice.
police committees.
Yeah, I was here at the neighborhood watch tonight, and that's it. That's what I got.
Thanks. I also attended a land use board meeting, and I had my monthly meeting with the chief of police to keep me up to date with our police department. We went to the baseball fundraiser that was over at the rec building. It was a very nice event. I also attended the food trucks beyond the water, the fundraiser for the EMS and fire department. That was very well attended. That was quite a fundraiser that was put on. They did a good job. Congratulations. Hopefully they raised a lot of money. Also, I had a couple of meetings with the Barnegat Bay Partnership, Clean Ocean Action, and the DEP. They've been doing a lot of data studies with the pollution in the Toms River, in South Toms River, Pine Beach, Toms River, Ocean Gate, all around that area, taking samples for the last close to a year now. We had a press release this afternoon with Asbury Park Press, and I expressed our commitment, to combat water pollution in South Toms River. That's a high priority with us. Also, I'd like to remind everybody that there is a free app available on your Apple phone or your Android Recycle Coach. I keep plugging this all the time. It's a great app. It's for free. All you gotta do is enter, takes a few minutes to enter in your information. It tells you when your garbage goes out, and what day the recycling is, when your bulk pickup is, when they're having shredding events or hazardous waste events within the county, where they're at and what times they're at. It's a great app, and it tells you what's acceptable, what's not acceptable recyclables. I encourage everybody to download that free app that's given to us by the county, and we did a lot of work with our administrator in putting all of our town's information on that. Also, the county recycling has upgraded their stuff for new materials that could be added. Chipboard, food tissue boxes, aluminum foil wrap and trays, plastics number 1, 2, and 5 are now accepted. Bottles, jars, food containers, and you can leave the caps on now.
I always throw those out.
So if it's not on the list, don't put it in there. Download the app, find out what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, and that ends my report. Thank you.
We do have an executive session to talk about and 2 resolutions that we tabled to discuss also in executive session. So we've ordinance 208 unless there's any other business or reports. Okay, do a motion to approve 208 in executive session.
All right.
All in favor? Resolution to it. Okay. All right, we're in executive session. Ms. Mosley, we'll see you on the other link, okay?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
What's 1, 2, and 3? That'd be 3 and 4.
Well, it's on there.
It's 3 and 4.
I don't know. It's probably like getting cycle. It's like concrete. But the plastic will have the stamps on it.
I ain't gonna look at that close. You guys going in there, I'm going to the garbage.
A lot of it's like the kids.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, the heavy stuff, yeah.
Yeah, that's what, a lot of that stuff.
So how are you doing tonight, Mr. Ross?
Quite well, how about yourself?
Yeah. All right. Counting the days.
Guys, bet. Hours? Minutes?
Better give it a
Doing,
bounce over here.
doing a little side work, which I actually kind of like.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because I don't have to be responsible. I just do my thing. That's it. I don't have to make no decisions. I'm not
Yeah, right.
responsible.
There you go.
Well, I do make decisions, but.
There's no reasons for that. Make a motion to go back into session?
There it is, do I have a second? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, seeing we're in public session, we have 2 resolutions. Resolution 199 and Resolution 203. Do you want to combine them as such, or do you want to vote them separately? Combine? Okay. So Resolution 199 is amending the Manitoba Park Volunteer Fire Contract. And 203 is updating the Borough personnel policies and procedures as amended. Do I have a first?
Murray?
Trudeau. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried, motion approved. I have no other.
Motion adjourned?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, we're adjourned. Thank you very much.
Nice.
Good night, Ms. Mosley. You're welcome.
For the record, I want to say Sandy did a great job as videographer.
Where's your butter?
My record.
His daughter.